Hello, my name is David Miles. I've been teaching electronics for 16 years. This video is a basic, quick, straight to the point attempt to show you exactly how to measure current during laboratory experiments. Okay, in order to measure current, again, we'll try to keep this simple. Three things you need to focus on. One is you need to set the meter up properly. Two, set the circuit under test up properly, and that would be with power on. And third is to put the probes, or to use those properly inside the circuit the proper way. When you measure current, it's very important that you must connect the leads in series. If you make the mistake and measure across a component, you could blow the fuse in the meter. Instructors, when the students start taking current readings, when we see you measure across parts with the meter set up in current, we start sweating. That's not good, because we know we're going to have to replace the fuse. So make sure you only measure in series and not in parallel. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take some measurements of current. First thing we want to do is make sure that the connectors are in the right spot. Okay, in voltage we had the red lead in the volts position. Okay, we're at the big V. And the current, what we're going to do is, since we usually work with small currents in training environments, usually in the milliamp microamp range, we'll move the red lead over to the milliamps microamps position on the Fluke 87.5. Okay, so we just put that in. The next step is to make sure that the ammeter is in the proper dial position. Okay, so if you look up here, we have a milliamps position and a microamps. Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn the knob to the milliamps position because that's the higher reading. Okay, we always, if we're not sure what the current is, we always start with the higher one, which would be milliamps. And if we get such a small reading like a 0.002 milliamps, then we can move down to microamps. Okay, so here we are in the milliamps position. However, we are measuring DC, not AC. This meter, it actually defaults to AC, as you can see in the LCD screen in the top right hand corner. So we need to change that to DC. And notice you have a orange button on the top left. If you push that, it'll change the AC display reading from AC to DC. Okay, and once we do this, now we're ready with a meter to take a measurement. Okay, in order to take a measurement, first the power has to be on the trainer, so we have to set up our circuit properly so we can turn power on. So turn power on. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to put the leads into the circuit the proper way. So what we have to do is break the circuit. Well, we can break the circuit in many different spots. I'm just going to show you several spots in this breadboarding circuit where we can take the current. Since this is a series circuit, the current will be the exact same in each spot. So first spot we'll take the measurement would be between the positive and the top of the resistor. So if I disconnect the red lead or the red wire from the circuit board, so I'll pull that off real quick, I've in essence opened up the circuit. And now what I have to do is insert the multimeter, the ammeter, in between the positive and the top resistor R1. So basically all you have to do is use the ammeter leads as a wire itself. We'll do that, and what reading do we get? Okay, you can see it on the LCD display. Okay, so let's see, where else can we take the current readings? Let's try between the ground terminal and the bottom resistor. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that resistor. Okay, now we've taken that resistor lead out. Now we can insert the ammeter in series between the ground and the bottom resistor R3. And notice we have the same measurement. Okay, next I've got to put the resistor back in its place. We can measure current in any one of these points. All we have to do is break the circuit somewhere. I'm just going to pull out one of the resistors leads and push it to the side. Okay, I'll take R2's resistor lead out and I'll move it over. And again, I'll use the ammeter to measure between resistor R2 and where I just pulled it out from. And notice the current is exactly the same as it was before. So anywhere inside a series circuit, you will measure the same current, because in a series circuit, that's a rule, it's always the same in a series circuit. Not to be confused with series parallel or parallel, because those will change. And that'll be another lesson. Okay, and to summarize taking current measurements with the multimeter, 4 things. First, make sure the red probe is connected to the amps position, whether it's milliamps or the 10 amp position. Also, make sure that the power is on when you measure current, or you won't measure any current. Third, make sure the meter probes are placed in series with the circuit. You have to break open the circuit, either desolder something, measure across an open switch, or in a breadboarding case, just remove a component to take its measurement, put the meter in series. And finally, I need to give you a warning: do not measure across any component in parallel while you're measuring current, because you can damage the multimeter, or more than likely you'll blow the fuse.